Hello everyone, it's Menenberg and I'm coming to you again with dissecting the prompts. We're talking about LEQ, we're talking about DBQ. Whatever your class is, if it's an AP History, US, Euro, or Modern World History, you need to know how to answer these prompts. You need to know what is being asked of you for the DBQ and the LEQ because it's 40% of your grade on that AP exam is on the line. And if you don't understand it, you don't answer it right, or you don't have a plan to attack it, it's going to be a long hour and 40 minutes that you're writing for, okay? Don't do that to yourself. Plan ahead, and you're going to thank me, I promise. This is our third prompt that we've dissected. If you want to go back and watch the other videos, it's more or less the same thing, but it's just a different prompt. Now, if you're taking APUSH or AP Euro even, you may not know this content very well. That is fine, because what we're going to look at is the structure. We're going to look at keywords. We're going to try to look at time frame and theme and location and all that stuff. Because no matter which class you're taking, they're going to have those things you want to pay attention to. And if you don't, if you miss some of those things, you might miss a huge part of what you're supposed to talk about in that essay. So take a look. Let's look at this prompt, shall we? It says this: new technology, including gunpowder weapons, shaped empires throughout southern and southwestern Asia from 1450 to 1750. Develop an argument that evaluates the extent to which various land-based empires in southern and southwestern Asia developed in similar ways from 1450 to 1750. That sounds like an exciting prompt to write about. Listen, remember for the LEQ, just a reminder to you, you got 3 prompts to choose from. If you read that prompt and you're like, I got nothing, then you want to move on to the next prompt. But doing so in the manner I'm suggesting is going to save you time in the long run, and you're not going to get halfway through an essay and have nothing actually to say, okay? So let's follow the dinosaur, shall we? All right, so I have it up here. First thing we want to look at is location. In this case, it's southern and southwestern Asia, okay? Now, we're talking about empires, land-based empires in these locations. And it says and, so we probably want to do both. Because remember, it's not or. If it says or, just pick one. Don't do more than is asked of you. In this case, it says both, so you want to know where. Southern, by the way, that's modern-day India, and southwestern. Southwestern Asia, that's the Middle East, more or less, okay? So you need to know which empires are located in those spots during what time period? Oh, that's down here, isn't it? Time period, 1450 to 1750. We're going to back up real quick. Pieces theme. Remember, you got to know which AP theme the question is targeting here. It doesn't name it necessarily, but keywords should let you know what you're supposed to focus on. In this case, it's politics, it's technology and innovation, as well as economics. Do you have to talk about all 3? No, you don't. But this prompt makes it easy for you to open to any of those 3 or all 3 if you were feeling ambitious. But you want to focus on those things and not like social. Social is not necessarily related to what we're dealing with in this prompt. Land-based empires, right? Similar ways. So they developed in a similar way, and the way was technology. Okay, so that is a theme. And we're talking about empires, that's politics. Economics, right? We're exchanging that technology through trade. That is economics. So knowing those are thematically related is going to help you focus your essay. Okay, then historical thinking skill. Again, this is clearly causation because we have a word right in here, developed. Okay, so that's a change. So cause and effect, right? Developed, and it's a result of gunpowder weapons. Okay, and new technology. New technology, gunpowder weapons, leads to the shaping of empires throughout these 2 regions, okay? Without those new technologies, they may not be shaped quite the same way, so those are the cause and effects, and it really lends itself to that causation historical thing. Again, you could make an argument for a comparison, especially as you're dealing with 2 different locations. Obviously, there's an element of comparison in there, but if you clearly structure it, causation, you're going to get the point for analysis and reasoning number 1. Okay? What else does the prompt give you? Gunpowder weapons. What examples of gunpowder weapons can you think of? And I don't just mean guns, okay, or cannons. You want to name specific things. And knowing these ahead of time in your outline, in your planning, is going to help you know how much you have in your brain. Okay? Asia. What empires do you know about those 2 parts of Asia? Right? You got the Ottomans, you got the Safavids, you got the Mughals. You got choices. And remember, they have to be land-based. What that simply means is the empire wasn't largely a maritime empire like, I don't know, England. Okay, England doesn't work for Southern Asia right now. Okay, they get to Southern Asia as their empire expands, but we're not going to be talking about that that sea-based empire, that maritime empire. Focused on land-based, okay? All right, so land-based empire, this again tells you specifically that framework that you're working with, as I just mentioned. Last thing I want to do here is just show you our table here. Remember, this is the method I am suggesting you use for that outline. Can you do a bullet point? Absolutely. It's up to you. It's for your benefit. It's so that you, as a writer, have a plan. They don't grade this. It's not even really looked at, but it's going to help you and it's going to save you time. So in this case, I'm going to knock out a few of the empires that we're talking about. Again, the Mughals, the Ottoman, the Safavids. Great. If you have other ones, there's probably a couple other that would work. You tell us the location. Roughly, that's it, right? Technology, we got gunpowder. And we're going to specifically probably explain how did the empire use the tech to develop. So in the case of the Ottomans, they had an extensive military, including the Janissaries, as a result of this gunpowder technology. And through that, what happens? The empire is the largest land-based Islamic empire. Okay, so you've got to kind of think through how that empire is actually expanding, how it's growing through the use of this gunpowder technology. If you don't have that connection in your head, you should know that it's time to move on. Okay, remember, you got to think about what else might be helpful. It's not about filling in all these boxes. It's not about making a really beautiful table. It's about having a plan and knowing what you know and don't know. Okay? So based on what you know, what you've put here, I haven't filled it out much, but based on that, you should know, here are the two empires I'm going to talk about. Here's what I'm going to talk about for those two empires. Here's how this essay is going to play out. And then you write your essay. And by having that type of plan in place, again, you are going to be far more successful. You're more likely to get all the points, and you're more likely to feel confident about your essay than you would be if you didn't have a plan and just start writing, okay? Now, in a pinch, do you just start writing? Okay, fine. You got 5 minutes to go. You want to crank out a thesis? Yeah, you don't have time to write an outline. Write the thesis. Get that point. But more likely than not, if you do what I say, you're going to have more than enough time to write what you need to write, to focus where you need to focus, and to include ample evidence to get all the points on that rubric. Okay. I know you probably have some questions. If you want to tackle a different prompt or look at some of the other keywords or how I would write a thesis for some of these, let me know. You can write some questions in that comment section. I hope this is helpful though. And remember, my friends, life is about choices. We'll see you next time.